Before I started my ADHD pill, I had no idea what I was getting into. Nobody, not my doctor, not my therapist, not even internet prepared me for what the first few weeks felt like. Hi, this is Perikri. I got diagnosed with ADHD in my 30s. Today, I'm gonna share 7 things which I wish someone had told me before I took my first ADHD medication. I don't want you guys to learn hard ways like I did, so here's the video. First thing, and the first mistake which I did is taking my pill at 12:30. And this is something which you should avoid. You should take your pill earlier than you think you're gonna take. And I'm gonna explain you why. My psychiatrist, he didn't tell me what time you should take the pill. He clearly said, okay, you can take the pill before breakfast or after breakfast. But my breakfast time is 12:30. He didn't know that. I was completely unaware of how this medication work. So my first day, I was super excited. I couldn't sleep, but for some reason, I ended up taking my medication at 12:30 and I recorded the time and I kind of wanted to record my first experience. It was nice. Everything was going nice. I was feeling that I was literally on prescribed drugs. That's how the first day feels like. You know what? I think I should make another video about how it feels like to have the ADHD medication for the first time. So the medication works for like 7 to 8 hours, I would say. I took at 12:30. It was lasting until 8 or 9 hours. And after that, it kind of leaves you some sort of effect on your nervous system. Takes 1 or 2 hours extra to take it off like completely out of your system. I won't say like out of your system, but you know, whenever the effect of the medication is washes off. So I'm talking about in that sense. Yeah, like I was so fully awake because these are like stimulants and they literally awakes your brain. And I was trying to sleep the first day, like first night. I couldn't sleep. I was like, what the hell is happening? I am trying to sleep. I'm so sleepy. Like after 8:30, my eyes were closing because my medication was washing off and I wanted to sleep. My body was literally tired. My brain was tired and exhausted because I was so active and I was so functional that day. But I couldn't sleep. It was my first experience. Every time if something was happening, I was going to Reddit and check like what's the reason? What's the reason? And turns out that I took the medication at 12:30 and initially you should start the medication as soon as you wake up. Like some people, they don't really take the breakfast. They just take the medication. But that doesn't work for me. It feels illegal for me to take medication before having breakfast. If you want to sleep peacefully at night, you should take medication at 7, 8, maximum 9. And you know the one thing that I realized after the first day? Just because I couldn't sleep, that medication was not working on me the second day. And I was so frustrated because I was literally expecting the first day, that honeymoon high. Nothing happened. And it becomes the cycle, you know. So it's really, really important to take your pill earlier than you think. Second thing is eat the protein rich diet. I hate protein. I love carbs. And my breakfast is filled with like the oats and banana and everything. I barely took any kind of protein in the morning. Now I take it because I take medication. But a lot of people and a lot of research, they say that your medication works better if you're taking more protein. And also one of the reasons that you should take more protein is because pills, they suppress your hunger. You don't feel like to eat anything. So if you're eating protein, it lasts longer. You don't feel the urge to eat more because your brain chemicals, they work better when you have like enough muscles or enough protein in your body. I think I need to check with my doctor, my psychiatrist. But I also felt that every time I was taking protein, after that I was taking my medication, it worked slightly better than when I'm not taking my protein. So you can have your eggs, your yogurt, your Greek yogurt, or you know, whatever you eat in your breakfast. And I bet you can feel the difference of the effect. And also a lot of people say to not have vitamin C. Sometimes I eat half of the orange. I didn't see any like my medication is not working or it's washing off early. I didn't see those kind of results, but I can literally bet for the protein. Protein first, pill second, and make this routine. Okay, this is also something very important, and it again is related to your food habits. For a week, my brain was getting used to ADHD medication. That week was terrible for me. Like every day I was going through different kind of, you know, emotions. It takes different time for different people to get used to it. If you're getting into it for the first time, I would say one of the strong symptoms is that you lose your appetite. I'm fine before taking pill. So I'm eating proper breakfast. Once I took it and the medicine starts working, I'm not hungry at all. You don't realize it. You're like functioning normally. Everything is going fine. You're not even feeling hungry. You see your food, your favorite food, and you don't feel like to eat. And also one of the reasons because you have a throat which is very dry. So like I tried to eat bread and I couldn't swallow. Literally. So first day I didn't eat. Of course, nobody warned me. But whenever the effect was washing off, I felt it. My body was so exhausted. There was some weird mental fatigue, and body was like feeling so tired and exhausted. It's not normal. And then I realized that because when it comes to brain, I was using my brain, I was working, medication was making my brain like fully alive and functional. I was not fueling my body. Next day, I literally started putting these alarms to remind me to go and eat. So sometimes you don't feel like to eat carbs or something which is like dry. So eat yogurts or eat like something which is easy to swallow. But keep reminders. Otherwise you're going to forget, because you're going to go through that phase of hyperfixation or hyperfocus. So sometimes literally it still happens with me that sometimes I forget to go and pee. I hold my pee for like 3 hours. Okay, let me finish this and then I'm going to go, and until it starts hurting my stomach. And then like, okay, it's time to go. And also your brain is not giving signals for you to go and eat. You'll have to put alarm, or you'll have to put the stickies in every maybe 1 hour or 30 minutes to go and eat something. And it's very important. Fourth symptom which a lot of people they go through is not drinking enough water and drinking electrolytes. It was not a very huge struggle, but I wish I would have done that. So your throat is always dry, like literally dry, to the point that you can't really swallow tough breads or very dry food. What you need to do is like keep drinking a lot of water, which I was doing. I was not feeling thirsty, but I was feeling dry. My throat was dry. Like everything, this thing was completely dry. One thing I wish I would have done is to mix electrolytes to keep my body more hydrated. Whenever I didn't drink a lot of water, I used to get massive headache around 8 p.m. or whenever I used to go to sleep. So please drink water, mix some electrolytes to make it more hydrating. Another thing I would root for, do some sort of workout, some sort of movement every day. This is something my psychiatrist told me, that you have to follow these 3 things: is the movement, workout, second is habit, and the third is medication. These 3 things, if you're going to follow, they're going to work like hand by hand. This was actually very surprising. So my gym timing is around 2 to 5. That's the timing I paid for. I used to take my medication at 8, and I still do take my medication at 8. I get very hyper focused on the things which I'm working, to the point that I don't feel like to go to the gym. I'm like, oh, this is such a big disturbance in the middle of my work and I don't want to break the flow, but it actually helps. Like every time I don't go, I don't feel good. And I think exercise or going for the walk or for the run, even if you're not taking medication, it's really important for your mental health. I am the living proof that I was going through so much of depression a few years back, and going to the gym helped me like crazy. Don't touch your phone when your medication is kicking in. And I'll tell you why. So the first day when I took medication, I was so excited. Like I was literally shooting things and I was trying to post and everything. I was super busy. I was super fun. I was happy, like to the point that I was literally crying out of happiness. And second day, I took the medication and I was in the kitchen, I remember, and I was just scrolling. I don't know if it was second. I think it was the third day. Yeah. And I was scrolling. The thing about like initially, because your brain is not trained to have this kind of stimulants. So what you do is like you don't know how to direct it. What happened with me is like I was scrolling and I got hyper focused into that action. I was scrolling the whole day in the different shapes and forms. You know what I mean? Like I was scrolling on my phone. I was scrolling my Vinted account. I was scrolling websites on like the shopping website. I was scrolling random things. And I was like, what's wrong with me? Why the medication is not working? But it was working, but the direction of focus was so totally different. I was focusing on the wrong things and it was so exhausting. That day I realized that the scrolling makes your brain so exhausted. Like at the end of the day, I was so depressed. I was like, what the hell was this day? That's why habit is so important if you're taking this medication. I remember there was this time I wanted to clean my attic. It was full of mess. I was literally procrastinating it for past like 6 months. So I decided to do that particular day. I took my medication and I immediately went to attic and I started cleaning everything. And it's huge. Everything was here and there. That whole day, I was so hyper focused in cleaning that I literally cleaned everything in one day, which I was procrastinating for past 6 months. You won't believe that you have this power to direct your brain in a way that it can be really productive or it can be really depressing, just stop scrolling for next 2 hours after taking medication. You'll be fine. And my seventh and last topic is related to the same thing, but not really related to the same thing. So, this is something my psychiatrist told me before I started taking medication, but not in a very strong way. So, I didn't take it seriously. You'll have to write a to do list before you go to sleep. And I'll tell you why it's important. So, for the first 2 days and later, I made this habit of making a to do list. Okay. In the morning when I'm taking medication, I immediately start doing that. Otherwise, the phone thing is going to happen. Like, you end up scrolling or focusing on some random bullshit which you shouldn't focus on. It's literally the wrong use of the hyper focused window you get in a day because of the medication. Everything goes fine whenever I do a to do list or I keep in mind, which I tend to forget because, the classic ADHD thing. So it's better you write a note or you do the sticky and you make a to do list before you go to sleep, because in the morning you don't have time. You take breakfast, you take the pill, and after that, things kind of change. And I'm talking about these first few weeks because our brain doesn't know how to move the direction. It's been 1 month that I'm on medication, and I'm kind of getting used to it, and I'm kind of training my brain to, okay, if it's getting on the wrong direction, I try hard to shift my focus, and then you start learning things, right? But initially it was like totally different case for me. So there were a few days that I didn't do a to-do list, and there was this one particular day I had no idea what I was going to do, and also that day started a bit slow and bit, I was a little bit cranky for some reason. I was focusing on all these bad thoughts that were coming to my mind. Life is so bad. I was looking at one thing, like I was looking at the building, and then I keep looking at it like a zombie. I was walking, but my brain was somewhere else. And it's not that I'm overthinking, because your brain doesn't think in different layers like it does normally. I was just getting zoned out. And at night, I felt so exhausted. I was like, okay, I don't want to take this medication. This is so exhausting. I was crying like hell. I was literally not getting these suicidal thoughts, but I was feeling like, what's the point of living like this? I don't know. It's like ADHD women when they go through their PMS period or PMDD or PMS phase, like how bad it gets. And I was feeling worse than that. I was literally crying. I wanted to hug someone. I was crying and I was like, why am I living in this world with this frustration? This, I can't describe. I can't describe. So it was a rough night. I woke up in the morning and I was feeling totally different. I was not feeling depressed. I was not feeling sad. I was not literally questioning my existence. I was feeling totally different. And that day I decided that no matter what, if I'm taking a medication, I will do something to make it work and not focus my thoughts in a totally different direction. And it's very, very, very important if you're on medication. If you don't have anything to do or you're chilling, just avoid taking a medication. And I'm telling you, none of these things are complicated, but nobody put them all in this one place and give you this like paper, because the side effects are totally different on different people. Yeah, but most of them are very common. So I just wanted to make this video to help you guys, because I know how tough this journey is. I've been struggling. I've struggled for so long. Like, if one person gets the help out of this video, it solves the purpose of recording this video. So I'm planning to post more ADHD content on my YouTube channel and also my yapping session in random topics, because I love to yap. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.